Here's something that trips up almost every JavaScript developer. You can write a class in plain JavaScript, but the moment your project grows, it turns into a guessing game. What's inside this object? Can I change this value? Who's allowed to touch it? TypeScript classes answer all of those questions before your code even runs. By the end of this video, you'll model real-world things in code, lock down your data, and reuse logic like a pro. Let's build it. Let's start with the big idea. A class is just a blueprint. Think of a cookie cutter. The cutter isn't a cookie, but you can stamp out as many cookies as you want from it. A class works the same way. You define the shape once, then create many objects from it. Each object made from a class is called an instance. Before classes, you might create an object like this. Just a bag of properties. It works, but there's no reusable shape, and nothing stops you from making mistakes. If you need 10 users, you copy this 10 times. A class fixes that by giving you one reusable definition. Let's see what that looks like. Here's the same idea as the class. We use the class keyword, give it a name, and declare the properties it will hold. The name starts with a capital letter by convention. Notice we also declare the types. Name is a string. Email is a string. TypeScript now knows exactly what every user looks like. This is the blueprint. We haven't made any actual users yet. Right now, our class declares properties but never fills them in. That's the constructor's job. The constructor is a special method that runs automatically when you create a new instance. We pass in the values and assign them to the object using this keyword. The word this refers to the specific instance being built. Think of it as the object, saying my name, my email. Now we can stamp out real users. The new keyword calls the constructor and gives us a fresh object. We make two completely separate users from the same blueprint. Each one keeps its own data. Let's run this and see it in the terminal. Classes don't just hold data, they can do things too. Functions that live inside a class are called methods. Here, we add a greet method that returns a friendly message using the object's own name. Notice we reference this name to grab the data belonging to that specific instance. Methods are how your objects behave. So far, anyone can read or change any property, but sometimes you want to protect data. Imagine a bank account. You should never be able to set the balance directly to 1,000,000 rupees. Access modifiers control who can touch what. TypeScript gives us 3: public, private, and protected. Let's break them down. Public is the default. If you don't write anything, a property is public, meaning it can be accessed from anywhere. Here, we mark name as public explicitly. You rarely need to type it out, but it makes your intent clear. Outside code can freely read and change a public property. Now the important one. Private means a property can only be touched inside the class itself. Here, balance is private. From outside, if you try to read or change it directly, TypeScript stops you with an error before the code even runs. This is how you protect sensitive data. The only way to change the balance is through methods you control. Protected sits in the middle. Like private, outside code can't touch it. But unlike private, child classes that extend this one, can. We'll fully understand this once we hit inheritance, but for now just remember, protected means this class and its descendants only. It's the family-only modifier. Sometimes a value should be set once and never changed again, like an account ID or a date of birth. The read-only modifier locks a property after the constructor runs. You can read it as many times as you like, but any attempt to reassign it later gives an error. It's perfect for IDs that must stay fixed. Here's a TypeScript trick that saves a lot of typing. Notice how we declared each property and then assigned it again in the constructor? That's repetitive. TypeScript lets you add a modifier directly in the constructor parameters. When you do, it automatically declares and assigns the property for you. Look how much shorter this is. Same result. Far less code. What if you want a property that looks normal from outside but runs logic when accessed? That's where getters and setters come in. A getter runs when you read a value. A setter runs when you assign 1. Here, the setter validates the amount before allowing it. From the outside, it looks like a plain property, but you're fully in control. This is encapsulation done right. Most properties belong to each instance, but sometimes a value belongs to the class as a whole, not to any single object. That's a static member. Here, the bank name is the same for every account, so we make it static. You access it on the class itself, not on an instance. Static is also great for counters and helper methods shared across all objects. Now the powerful part, inheritance. Imagine a savings account. It's a bank account, but with extra features. Instead of rewriting everything, we use extends to inherit from bank account. The savings account automatically gets all the parents' properties and methods, plus whatever new things we add. This is the don't repeat yourself principle in action. When a child class has its own constructor, it must call the parent's constructor first using super. This makes sure the parent gets set up properly before the child adds its own bits. Think of it as the child saying, "Let mom and dad finish their part first, then I'll do mine." If you forget super, TypeScript throws an error. A child class can also replace a method it inherited. That's called overriding. Here, the savings account gives its own version of describe. The override keyword tells TypeScript you mean to replace the parent's method, and it'll warn you if the parent method doesn't actually exist. That tiny keyword catches a lot of typos. Sometimes you want a base class that should never be created directly. Only extended. That's an abstract class. You can't say new on it. It can also declare abstract methods. Methods with no body that every child must implement. It's like a contract that says, any account that extends me must define how to calculate fees. This forces consistency across all your subclasses. Classes can also promise to follow a shape using implements. An interface defines what methods and properties must exist. When a class implements it, TypeScript checks that nothing is missing. Inheritance shares actual code. Interfaces only enforce the contract. You can implement many interfaces at once, which makes your code flexible and predictable. Let's combine everything into one realistic example. We have an abstract account base, a private balance protected by a getter, a parameter property for the read-only ID, and a savings account that extends it and overrides the method. Run it, and you can see real instances behaving exactly as designed. Safe, typed, and reusable. This is object-oriented TypeScript in full flow. Quick recap. Use classes to model things with both data and behavior. Reach for private and readd only to protect your data. And prefer parameter properties to keep constructors clean. And use inheritance only when there's a real is a relationship. Otherwise, interfaces or composition are often cleaner. Master these, and your code becomes far easier to read, test, and grow. So there you have it. You learned 3 big things today. How to build classes with a constructor and methods. How access modifiers like private and read-only protect your data. And how inheritance with extends and super lets you reuse code cleanly. Next up in the TypeScript track, we dive into generics. How to write flexible, reusable code that works with any type safely. Make sure you watch that one next. If this finally made classes click for you, hit subscribe and drop your biggest TypeScript question in the comments. We reply to every single one. Keep coding, and I'll see you in the next video.